You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie. I'm a United States Special Forces widow. This gives me a unique perspective on the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View.
All right, it's Jessie. How y'all doing out there today? Yes, I miss you when we're not talking. No joke. No kidding. All right. I've got a couple of announcements. Obviously, tomorrow night is Friday night, so it will be Jessie's Coffee Shop. I have had an amazing response to requests from authors to be interviewed and join me in the coffee shop. It is an outstanding response. So first of all, thank you. Second of all, I haven't thanked my listeners lately. Whether you're a new listener or a long time, hung in there with me through Raqqa and Mosul and all that, boy, wow, thank you. And I don't care if you listen at KLRNRadio.com, you listen on demand, live, you listen from iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Blueberry. I don't care where you listen. I thank you for listening. Now, I've got to respond on air. I got some interesting feedback from someone who decided to listen to my show the other day. And he was listening to an on-demand episode, I believe. I'm guessing from his comments. Now, I will not reveal this person's name, but I found this to be a rather intriguing letter, so I'd like to comment on it. He starts out with, "Why the bleep should I listen to your show? I don't care what Iran's doing. Let them develop whatever technology they want. I don't care what North Korea is doing. Why should we defend Japan? Just let China take over." Then this person went on to criticize something that I hold dear. And this was the only hurtful part of this letter, because the rest I thought, you're uninformed. You really do need to be listening. But this hurt. Why do you glorify and honor the, quote, stupid soldiers that are dumb enough to sign up and join our armed forces and die with TAPS? They don't deserve it. Well, warning, rant. And any of you who know me know this is not going to be pretty. Clean, but not pretty. The men and women of the armed forces give you the freedom you have to spout nonsense like that. You have the freedom to do what you want because in the 1940s, men and women in the United States Armed Forces took on Hitler. And I'm including women because while they weren't in combat roles at that point, they did many outstanding things. They worked in hospitals. They went to work in factories. They supported the war effort in whatever way they could. You might be speaking German now and living under a dictator if that had not happened. We did not seek conflict. In case you don't remember American history, we were attacked by Japan. We were fighting a war on two fronts. The men and women of the United States Armed Forces are still fighting for your life and your freedom today. You may not understand why we are in Iraq, why we are in Syria, why we have special forces in Yemen. And yes, it is in the news that we do. So, before any of you are yelling at me, OPSEC, 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 I named a country, not a specific location. And OPSEC, for those of you who don't know, is an acronym for Operational Security. Back to rant. The men and women of the armed forces are why you are free to protest. They are why you are free to sleep under a blanket of peace at night and know that there will not be a bomb dropping on your head. And I know what it is like, personally, to suffer one of the most horrific tragedies any military family member can face. It is knock, knock. Your member of the armed forces is never coming home. And so I hold the men and women who put their lives on the line. They write a check for up to and including their life and say to the government, I'm yours for X period of time. Send me where you need me. Teach me the skills you need me to have. I'm yours. And I'm sorry, I do not care that you do not want to be informed about what Iran is doing or why it could be a threat to our national security. I do not care that you would rather let China overrun Japan and South Korea right along with Russia and guess who else? Iran. I do not care. But you insult my honoring of the men and women of the armed forces. Now I care. Those men and women gave their last full measure for you. So, suck it up, Buttercup. I will not discontinue my practice of closing a show with taps when there are fallen servicemen and women. Because guess what? They fought for my freedom to be able to do that. The least I can do is honor them and respect them. Oh, and P.S. I'm married to a member of the United States Armed Forces right now. So I know of whence I speak. All right, rant over. Or at least I'll do my best not to go back to that. Now, I have some show prep and I have a few other things, but I need to take just a moment and pull it together after that. So I'm going to play just a wee bit of bumper music while I grab my show prep and a drink of water and take a deep breath so I can continue with my show.
She kisses little Katie's forehead as she turns out the light. A night ahead in a lonely bed, she's a military wife. She pushes back a tear, then sinks into a chair. Her mind says that's the way it is. Her heart says it ain't fair. She knows the price of sacrifice, but she's proud to take her place in that unsung corps of warriors who stay behind and wait. They also serve those who stand and wait, praying by the foe to learn their loved one's fate. But they're still in the war, and let there be no mistake. They also serve those who stand and wait.
Alright, thank y'all for bearing with me while I took care of that, but I had to speak my piece. Because, guess what? I feel very strongly about that. And there is nothing anyone could ever do, say or do, that would convince me to stop honoring the men and women of the armed forces. And if I stop, who will? Now, I'd like to do a quick shout out to a couple of my Twitter followers who give me the strength some days to carry on doing what I do. First of all, I'd like to thank someone who taught me how to do what I do. Rick Robinson, thank you. Second of all, shout out, Major Payne, you're awesome. Hubby, you've put up with dinners at my desk, nights interrupted, and me suddenly saying, I need to get to the microphone now because I have something to say and I need to get it off my chest. You have put up with that time and time again, and you know, because you know me well, it's not going to stop anytime soon. Next, I would like to thank all my fellow hosts here at KLRNRadio.com. Politibunny, G, Stafford, Don on the Air, Daniel Wright. I can't even name you all. Jen Homestead. It would take me 10 minutes to go through all of you. Flo. I'd like to thank all of you for when I'm having that rough day, you manage to put a smile on my face. When I'm having one of those days where I'm sitting going, I don't know if I want to go on the air tonight. One of you, or Doc, can't leave you out. And that would be Dr. Judy L. Moore, host of Conversations in Science, because I'm her producer, so I'm going to give a plug for the show. One of you will say, get to work. You got a show to do. Don't you have a show in a little bit of time? Or they'll say, we all do this out of love. So I just wanted to say thank you for all of you who reach out to me and lift me up when crap like this buttercup hits my desk. And I am saddened to say this is not the first letter I have received. But I felt it was time to mention it. Now, if you would like to send me praise, hate mail, comments, questions, topics you want me to hear me talk more about, less about, critique, I don't care. You can email me at the station, Jessie's POV, JESSIES POV at KLRNradio.com. Now, this buttercup will not be invited on air because I don't think he could handle it. However, if you have a valid point that I'd like to discuss with you, you very well may get an invitation to come on the air. In fact, I have a special guest for Monday. Special guest? Yes. His call sign, which for those of you not in the know is military speak for nickname, is Wild Rice. He is a man whose opinions I respect and admire, and he is former military. I will let him fill you in. Now, he is currently helping out in Houston, so if he can't make it this Monday, he'll make it next. He has given me his word, and Rice is one that always lives up to his word. So if you are listening out there, wild one, I know you'll get here as soon as your assistance is no longer needed in Houston. All right, back to the show. Yep, stack of show prep. We will start off with some of my usual suspects and usual topics, but I do have a few tweaks tonight. Yes, KJU, Kim Jong-un, or known on this show as Quackers, is at it again. He has renewed his threat to Guam after Trump's warning. He has renewed the threats that he will take aggressive actions because of joint military exercises between South Korea and the United States that are annual, scheduled, and not a dry run for an invasion. Now, just to remind folks, North and South Korea are still technically at war. No, there was never a peace treaty signed. It is a ceasefire, friends. So, while Quackers and North Korea in general does have a long history of making provocative statements, are they going to follow through? The UN Security Council did hold an emergency meeting on Tuesday, and they did condemn North Korea's 4 recent missile launches, including the one that flew over Japan, as outrageous. Which, in UN speak, that's pretty strong, friends. That's pretty strong. In fact, just to remind those of you who didn't happen to catch me when I played it, let me see if I can find... Yep, I got it right here. Nikki Haley's words about this.
over them, like those 130 million people in Japan. It's unacceptable. They have violated every single UN Security Council resolution that we've had, and so I think something serious has to happen.
Will you be proposing new sanctions today?
I think we have a lot to talk about today, and so with all of our partners, what we hope is that China and Russia continues to work with us like they have in the past on North Korea, but I think enough is enough. Thank you.
Time come for the military office.
Now, that wasn't the only world leader that had something to say. I don't know that I played the UK's United Kingdom's ambassador statement, so let's give that one a whirl.
These latest acts by North Korea are illegal, provocative, outrageous, and reckless. The United Kingdom stands with the people of Japan at this difficult time, and we stand with all the countries who want to make sure that international law prevails over a brutal dictatorship.
All right. I think that says it well. Japan is a dictatorship, a very brutal dictatorship. Excuse me, North Korea is a brutal dictatorship, and Japan deserves to live in peace. I apologize. I'm a little worked up tonight, and trying to read and talk at the same time. Now, KJU has shown no interest in talking. His country has a history of proliferating arms. And if Iran has not already written that check to purchase North Korea's nuclear ICBM technology, which they are making leaps and bounds of progress on, they will. Yes, I am still working on that. I have not forgotten that story. I am working to dig everything up to play as many connect the dots as possible. Okay? Because I believe in bringing you not just my opinion, but as many facts as I can come up with to sort it all out. So, Quackers? Yes, Mr. Quackers? You can keep quacking if you want. But I don't know how many of these you can get away with before you find yourself on the receiving end of something very much like that. Now, I'm going to save my OIR update for the second half of the show because I am quickly approaching the bottom of the hour. Thank you, Rand. But I do have one quick story I want to bring you. Members of the United States Armed Forces are being deployed, well, not deployed, but sent to assist the National Guard in Texas. They are being sent to help in any way they can. This is so they can work alongside the professionals and the average citizens who have been down there doing their darndest. I know some of them are leaving their families as soon as Sunday. Yes, as soon as this Sunday, they are out the door. How do I know the date? Well, obviously I have a friend who must be going. All right. We are going to take a commercial break. Yes. Even in radio, there are bills to pay. So, as a reminder, you can find me on Twitter at Jesse's POV, and you can always email me at the station at jessespov@klrnradio.com, and I will see you on the other side.
Forget what they said if you wanna turn your back on the country needing you right now.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You can lay down if you wanna. You can run away if you wanna. You can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna. You can play dead if you wanna. Forget what they said if you wanna.
All right, thank y'all for hanging in there with me while we paid those radio station bills. Now, there was a fascinating Operation Inherent Resolve press conference today. Now, you know me, I can find a lot of things fascinating. I want to lead off with not Tal Afar, which has been liberated, and I will play that clip most momentarily, but Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. I'd like you to hear what General Townsend has to say on this issue.
I really don't know where he is. I think this is the same answer I gave last time. I really don't. Do I believe he's alive? Yes. Why? Because I've seen no convincing evidence, intelligence or open source or other rumor or otherwise, that he's dead. So therefore, I believe he's alive. There are also some indicators in intelligence channels that he's still alive. Where is he? I don't have a clue. He could be anywhere in the world for all I know. Here's what I think. I think he's somewhere in Iraq and Syria. I think he's probably somewhere in the middle Euphrates River Valley. Remember, I think the Secretary of Defense said it last week or so, and I said it just a few minutes ago. The last stand of ISIS will be in the middle Euphrates River Valley. That's where they believe their last sanctuary is.
All right, so General Townsend has no reason to believe Baghdadi is dead, thinks he's very much alive, and hanging out in the middle Euphrates River Valley. I found that pretty interesting stuff. I know it's one of those things, but I could bore you guys all night with Operation Inherent Resolve clips, and I know I've gotten overzealous and played a few. Now, I'm playing a little bit of clip roulette, I will admit. Let's take a listen to what he had to say earlier today.
Sir, just following up.
Sorry, that's a reporter's question.
Okay, thanks, Michael. So first, your question, you pointed out that the final stand of ISIS will be in the middle Euphrates River Valley. Now, that's the area that lies on both sides of the Iraq-Syrian border, from about Deir ez-Zor in Syria down to Rawa in Iraq, over 250 kilometers.
Yes, I believe it. Because they believe this will be a safe haven for them. They believe, due to the semi-sacred nature of this space and its religious significance, we won't enter it. Wah, wah.
The Iraqi security forces and the Kurdish Peshmerga set the example for all of Iraq. They proved how resilient and powerful they could be if they put their differences aside and worked together toward a common goal. And now, as you may have heard in the past few hours, the Iraqis have achieved a stunningly swift and decisive victory in the city of Tal Afar, west of Mosul. Throughout the fight, the ISF did a remarkable job protecting civilians and evacuating them from the city, while the United Nations and the government of Iraq did amazing work handling the 900,000 displaced persons. To date, more than 250,000 people have already returned to their homes throughout Iraq. The coalition, united and strong, was there every step of the way to support our partners.
Yes, Tal Afar has been liberated. Outstanding. Now remember those buses I talked about trying to flee Raqqa? And they were talking with everybody and their brother-in-law? I got a clip on that. And yes, this was General Townsend again. Now it's a little long, so we're probably going to pause it and break it up a little bit.
Okay, so first of all, this is a convoy of ISIS fighters. We believe some of them have their family members with them. These are ISIS fighters that the Syrian regime cut a deal with to move through Syria from their western border with Lebanon, through Syria, and put them off on buses on their eastern border next to Iraq.
Yes, you heard that right. Bashar al-Assad, who, as I might remind you, is propped up by Russia and Iran, are delivering a batch of Daesh fighters to the Iraqi border.
Family members with them. These are ISIS fighters that the Syrian regime cut a deal with to move through Syria from their western border with Lebanon, through Syria, and put them off on buses on their eastern border next to Iraq. That's what they're doing. So we decided to go look for these buses, and we found them. And let me make it clear, we have not struck this convoy at all. No women and children have been harmed on this convoy, although I'd very much like to get at the ISIS fighters on that convoy. We've resisted that. What we have done is
I don't blame General Townsend for wanting to take out the Daesh fighters, but I am thankful that innocent women and children have not been forced into harm's way. Now let's hear what they have done.
We've resisted that. What we have done is we've seen the Syrian regime bring these ISIS fighters with their machine guns, which they posted on social media, pictures of masked terrorists on Greyhound-like buses with their machine guns in their laps. And you can check it on social media and see it for yourself. So we didn't make a deal with ISIS, and we're going to pursue ISIS wherever we find them. So they stopped near Abu Kamal in the eastern part of Syria and along the border with Iraq, and they waited to link up with ISIS.
Yes, ISIS fighters are trying to link up with other ISIS fighters in Iraq in return for getting out of Syria. Bad move, guys. Let's continue listening.
And so we watched, and when ISIS came out to link up with them, we started striking ISIS. And again, we haven't struck the convoy. But we have struck every ISIS fighter and or vehicle that has tried to approach that convoy. And we'll continue to do that.
Way to go, General Townsend. Yes, they have struck not the buses that may hold women and children, but the fighters that keep trying to approach the convoy. So now we have a terrorist organization making deals with Syria, who is propped up by Russia, who's supposedly not an enemy, but we all know that, well, these lines are being drawn. We have Syria actively helping to spread terrorism. Not just a little bit helping, actively. This is not good news. I seem to be the harbinger of bad news. However, unfortunately, I don't make it, I cover it. Let's drop into this press conference one more time.
I think you said any importance in capturing Baghdadi. I'd be happy to capture Baghdadi. I don't know who wouldn't. I think I'd be just as equally satisfied just killing him. And if he's alive out there somewhere, we're looking for him every day. I don't think he's dead. We're looking for him every day. When we find him, I think we'll probably just try to kill him first. Probably not worth all the trouble to try to capture him. That's my own personal thought on it.
I always find it fascinating when military brass gives personal thoughts as opposed to scripted party lines.
Okay. First of all, I'd point out that we did see that in Manbij, but it hasn't always worked out that way for ISIS.
He is talking about the busing of fighters from point A to point B and how they've been using civilians as human shields.
For example, the example in Fallujah, Iraq. ISIS tried to leave there, and we were able to strike their convoys and essentially slaughter ISIS fighters in large numbers. In Manbij, there was a different outcome. In Tabqa, back in April-May timeframe, they tried to execute a negotiated withdrawal. We weren't party to that agreement, and we struck their withdrawing column.
So, yes, our men and women in armed forces are preventing terrorists from coming to our borders and that of those of our allies. This is how they let every man and woman in this country sleep under a blanket of freedom every night. You can go out and start your car to go to work in the morning without having to check it for explosives. Because although there are lone wolves and inspired attacks here, there are not large numbers of Daesh fighters in this country. All right. Moving right along. North Korea's latest propaganda puts Trump in the cemetery. President Trump vowed to rain down fire and fury on the communist country 3 weeks ago if it did not stop threatening the U.S. in response. North Korea indicated it intended to attack Guam, which is a U.S. territory and the home to key U.S. military bases. So, North Korea's response is to put out a Photoshop propaganda video that essentially shows Trump being killed. And this brings me to Kathy Griffin. How can you propose holding up a picture with the image with a head made to look like Donald Trump had been beheaded at a time like this? And I don't often discuss things like this, but I personally found that picture offensive and an outrage. So not only will I not follow you, I do not think you are funny, and your quote-unquote world tour has no stops in America, or I might show up and boo you. That is my right. I've got one that I just have to bring to attention because we don't hear much about Bergdahl these days. Oh yes, Bergdahl. I seem to be on a traitor kick tonight. What can I say, folks? Lawyers for alleged deserter Sergeant Bo Bergdahl are pursuing uncensored copies of emails they believe show the Trump administration's attempt to appear impartial while backing off disparaging comments made on the campaign trail. There are 113 heavily redacted emails at stake, unmistakably between government prosecutors and the White House, according to Bergdahl's defense lawyers. The emails were turned over to the defense in a Federal Freedom of Information Act request after the military judge denied a defense motion to dismiss the case based on Trump's campaign trail criticism. These emails confirm that after President Trump became president and during the pendency of the defense motion to dismiss, his staff was in substantial contact with trial counsel by email, telephone, and in person about the motion. Second, the defense said the emails attempt to distance Trump as prosecutors urged the administration to issue a statement similar to a 2013 statement from then Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel. The purpose of that suggestion was apparently to blunt Sergeant Bergdahl's apparent unlawful command influence case by trying to build a wall between Mr. Trump's campaign statements and his views after taking oath of office, according to the defense. Bergdahl, just as a reminder, is charged with desertion and misbehavior before the enemy by endangering the safety of a command, unit, or place. If convicted for misbehavior before the enemy, he could face life in prison. For those of you who don't remember what Bergdahl did, he walked off his remote post in Afghanistan in 2009 and was subsequently held by the Taliban for 5 years. Actually, he was held by the Haqqanis, but that's another story. Following a preliminary Article 32 hearing, that's mil-speak for court-martial, Bo Bergdahl was charged. He is not in pretrial confinement or any form of arrest. The court-martial is scheduled for October at Fort Bragg, and he is elected to be tried by a single judge, not a military jury. I find these little tidbits and peaks of information pretty interesting. I really do. Now, water everywhere. People wading through chest-deep, waist-deep water and trying to get out. Am I talking about Houston? No. Houston, unfortunately, is not the only place in the world that is suffering from a flood with heavy rains. Karachi, Pakistan, has at least 12 dead and several injured as heavy rains continue to lash Pakistan's southern port city of Karachi. Torrential rains coupled with gusty winds hit the city late Wednesday, leaving 12 dead. 7 of the victims died from electrocution and others in roof and well collapse incidents in different parts of Karachi. Local reports said that several grid stations have tripped, halting electricity to many areas in the city, while the city's school administrations declared schooling suspension due to heavy monsoon downpour. Hint, guys, monsoon's another name for hurricane. According to Pakistan Meteorological Department, widespread rain, thunder showers with moderate to heavy rainfalls may occur in the city the next 24 hours. So, this is the second wet spill which hit the country over the past 10 days. And the monsoon or heavy rainfall that hit on August 20th killed 22 people. While my thoughts and prayers are with those in Houston, I cannot imagine losing everything you own. My thoughts and prayers are also with the people of Karachi, Pakistan, because they face similar tragedies. Okay, I know I'm quickly running out of time. The soldier who is missing, I mentioned his name last night, Staff Sergeant Emil Rivera Lopez, is listed as duty status whereabouts unknown, Dust 1. Rivera Lopez, whose age and unit weren't immediately available, was flying with a crew during a training exercise at the time of the incident. The helicopter crashed while the crew was training about 20 miles off the southern coast of the country. 5 troops who were also aboard the chopper were rescued. A small team of U.S. Special Forces troops has been on the ground in the midst of Yemen's civil war in support of an operation against Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, AQAP. The Pentagon is working to provide accurate numbers of troops deployed in combat zones, including Iraq and Syria. Hint, they aren't going to give you the number in Yemen if it's Spec Ops, guys. Now, I tripped over one other story that I will just briefly touch on because I am pretty much out of time. Al-Qaeda. We haven't heard that name in a while around here. And I'm going to have to try and find a couple of sources. Has allegedly been sending uranium to none other than Iran. Yes. An Al-Qaeda affiliate has seized control of uranium mines in Africa with the intent of supplying the material to Iran. This is according to a diplomatic letter from a top Somali official appealing to the U.S. for immediate military assistance. This letter was dated August 11th and delivered an urgent warning to the U.S. that the Al-Shabaab terror network has linked with the regional Daesh faction and is capturing territory in the central part of the country. The issue, and according to the letter, and this is a quote, the issue can be summed up in a single word, uranium. The letter said Al-Shabaab forces have captured critical surface-exposed uranium deposits in the Galmud region and are strip mining titanium octoxide for transport to Iran. The warning represents yet another potential security threat as the U.S. government simultaneously grapples with a nuclear standoff in North Korea, the prospect of a stalemate in Afghanistan, and Daesh activity across the Middle East and North Africa. All right, folks, I will look into that one further. And as always, you can find me on Twitter at Jesse's POV. You can drop me an email at the station, Jesse's POV at KLRNRadio.com. And on that note, folks, you regulars know what's coming.